Hey everyone, welcome back to the Jack and Emma podcast. We're really happy to have you here today because this lesson is going to help you in one of the most practical and useful situations in everyday life. Today we're talking about restaurant English. Going to a restaurant is something many people do often, whether it's for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or even just a quick coffee. But for English learners, ordering food and talking naturally in a restaurant can sometimes feel difficult. You may know the vocabulary, but when someone speaks quickly, it can feel overwhelming. Today, we're going to practice together so you can feel much more relaxed and confident. Hey, guys!
That's absolutely right. Restaurant conversations are actually one of the best ways to practice English because they happen in real life all the time. When you walk into a restaurant, you usually need to ask for a table, look at the menu, order food, ask questions, and then maybe talk with the people sitting with you. These are all natural daily conversations, and once you learn the basic patterns, you'll be able to use them almost anywhere. The great thing is that restaurant English is usually simple and polite, so it's perfect for beginners who want practical speaking practice. The host looks at us and says, "Good evening, welcome. How many people are dining tonight?" That's a very common question, and you don't need a complicated answer. I simply smile and say, "Table for two, please." That's enough. If the restaurant is busy, they may ask if you have a reservation. If not, you can just answer honestly. The conversation is usually short and polite.
The host asks, "Do you have a reservation?" And I say, "No, we don't. Is there a table available near the window?" I like asking that because sitting near the window makes the dining experience feel more relaxing. The host checks the reservation list and smiles.
The host replies, "Yes, there is a table available. Please follow me." We walk through the restaurant and I notice the smell of fresh bread and grilled food. It already feels like a nice place to spend the evening. The host leads us to a small table near the window and hands us the menus.
As I sit down, I look around and say, "This restaurant feels really cozy. I like the music and the lighting makes the place feel peaceful." That's a natural comment you might make when you arrive somewhere new. Talking about the atmosphere is a great way to start a casual conversation. I look around too and reply, "Yeah, I agree. It feels comfortable and it doesn't seem too noisy." That's always nice when you want to have a good conversation during dinner. This kind of small talk is very natural while waiting for service. A waiter comes over to our table and says, "Good evening. Here are your menus. Can I get you something to drink while you decide?" This is a very common question. I look at the drink menu for a moment and say, "Yes, I'd like a glass of iced tea, please."
I smile and add, "And I'll have sparkling water, please." Ordering drinks first is very common in many restaurants, so it's good to know simple phrases like this. The waiter nods and tells us he'll be back in a few minutes to take our food order. As we look at the menu, I say, "There are so many choices here. Everything sounds delicious, but I'm not sure what to order." This is a very common feeling when trying a new restaurant. Sometimes the menu has too many good options. I laugh and reply, "I know what you mean. Whenever I see too many good choices, I always take longer to decide. But I heard this place is famous for seafood, so maybe we should try that." That's a natural way to share an opinion during dinner. The waiter comes by and I say, "Are you ready to order?" I smile and say, "I think so. But first, what do you recommend?" This is one of the most useful phrases in restaurant English because it helps you when you don't know what to choose. The waiter replies, "Our grilled salmon is very popular, and the chicken pasta is one of our most recommended dishes." After hearing that, I say, "That sounds great. I'll have the grilled salmon." The sentence "I'll have" is one of the most common ways to order food naturally. After hearing the recommendation, I decide and say, "I'll try the chicken pasta, please. And can I also have a small salad as a starter?" This keeps the order simple but realistic. It's common to order a starter and a main course. The waiter nods and asks if we'd like anything else. I say, "No, that's all for now. Thank you." Being polite is important, and using "thank you" makes the conversation sound very natural. While waiting for the food, I look out the window and say, "It's nice to slow down and have dinner like this after a busy week." Sometimes life gets so fast that we forget to enjoy simple moments. That's the kind of real conversation people often have while waiting for food. I nod and reply, "That's true. I think sharing a meal is one of the best ways to relax. Good food and good company can make even an ordinary day feel special." This kind of personal comment makes the conversation feel natural and meaningful. A few minutes later, the waiter brings our food and says, "Enjoy your meal." I smile and reply, "Thank you." Then I look at my pasta and say, "Wow, this looks amazing. The smell sounds incredible." It's very natural to comment on the food as soon as it arrives. I take a look at my salmon and say, "This looks really fresh. I can't wait to try it." Then I take a bite and immediately smile. "This is delicious. The salmon is perfectly cooked."
Talking about the taste of food is one of the easiest restaurant conversations. I take my pasta and say, "This is really good. The chicken is tender and the sauce is creamy but not too heavy. I can see why people recommend this place." Sharing opinions about food makes the meal more interactive. I look around too and reply, "Yeah, I agree. It feels comfortable and it doesn't seem too noisy." That's always nice when you want to have a good conversation during dinner. This kind of small talk is very natural while waiting for service. As we continue eating, I ask, "Do you usually like trying new restaurants, or do you prefer going to places you already know?" This is a natural question that can keep the conversation going during dinner. I think for a moment and answer, "I enjoy both, but I really like discovering new places." Trying a new restaurant feels like a small adventure because you never know what kind of experience you'll have. That's a natural way to share your personal preference. I smile and say, "That makes sense. I'm similar. I like having my favorite places, but I also enjoy trying somewhere new, especially if friends recommend it." That kind of response helps the conversation flow naturally. As we finish most of the meal, I lean back a little and say, "I'm full, but I think I still have room for dessert. The meal was too good not to try something sweet." That's a very common thing people say after dinner. I laugh and reply, "Same here. I wasn't planning to order dessert, but now I'm curious. Maybe we should ask for the dessert menu." This is a natural continuation of the meal. The waiter comes by and I say, "Excuse me, can we see the dessert menu, please?" This is a simple but very useful phrase. The waiter hands us the menu and I start looking at the options. I look at the menu and say, "The chocolate cake sounds tempting, and they also have cheesecake. It's hard to choose again." Even dessert can create a conversation. I smile and say, "I think I'll have the chocolate cake. It sounds like the perfect ending to this meal." That's a simple way to order dessert. I reply, "Then I'll get a cup of coffee and share the cake with you. That way I can enjoy dessert without feeling too full." Sharing food is also common in casual dining conversations. After dessert arrives, I take a bite and say, "This is amazing. I'm really glad we ordered it." Talking about the final course makes the conversation feel complete. I sip my coffee and say, "The coffee is strong, but it goes perfectly with the cake. This has been a really enjoyable dinner." Simple comments like this make real conversations feel easy. Eventually, we finish eating and the plates are cleared away. I look at Jack and say, "I had such a nice time tonight. It's always good to slow down, enjoy good food, and have a meaningful conversation." I smile and agree. Yeah, I think restaurants are great places to connect with people. It's not just about eating, it's about sharing time together. That's a natural reflection after a meal. Then I raise my hand slightly and say to the waiter, "Excuse me, can we have the bill, please?" This is one of the most important phrases at the end of a restaurant visit. The waiter brings the bill and I say, "Thank you. Everything was excellent tonight." Complimenting the service is a polite and friendly thing to do. I ask, "Can we pay by card?" Because that's something many people ask every day. The waiter says yes and brings the card machine. I pay the bill and say, "Thanks again. We really enjoyed the meal." Then we stand up, put on our jackets, and prepare to leave. As we walk outside, I smile and say, "That was such a great evening." Good food always makes conversations more memorable. I laugh and reply, "Absolutely. And it's also one of the best ways to practice English because restaurant conversations are simple, natural, and useful in everyday life." That's why today's lesson is so important. If you practice these kinds of conversations, you'll feel much more confident the next time you go to a restaurant. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need simple phrases and the courage to speak. Exactly. Start with small steps. Practice ordering food, asking for the bill, or talking about the meal. The more you repeat these real-life situations, the more natural your English will become. That's it for today's episode. We hope this restaurant dialogue helps you speak more confidently in daily life. Keep practicing, and don't be afraid to use your English whenever you get the chance. Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep learning, keep speaking, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Jack and Emma podcast.